what would I do
Sure.
when the world, when people start to travel again, when people congregate again. I firmly believe that once people travel again, they're gonna want that trip to be the best, and they're gonna want to spend the money to make that trip better, and we're gonna come back strong.
Welcome to the Dragonproof e-commerce podcast. This is Rick Wilson, CEO of Miva. I'm here today with Scott Jordan, CEO of SCOTTeVEST. I want to thank you for joining me. I love looking at your social media that you're posting pics of customers on past adventures. Very positive, inspiring for people like in a world under lockdown. But why don't you tell me about yourself and what you guys do?
Well, my name is Scott Jordan, and we have a company called SCOTTeVEST. We design clothing with tons of pockets and innovative features. We happen to be the very first digitally native clothing brand, started over almost 20 years ago, right around now. And we've been with Miva almost the entire time, except for the first 3 months.
Yeah, you had Yahoo for a few months, but then
you remember.
Yep.
Yeah. So we have a full line for both men and women. It's just basically clothes reimagined, with more better pockets. And it's not rocket science. It's pocket science.
Pocket science.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not only a friend of yours and a supplier of yours, but I'm a fan of your products. So I am familiar with the pocket science, and I appreciate them. But considering that you are essentially you sell outdoor products for travel, and currently we're in the middle of COVID-19, which means people aren't supposed to go outdoors or travel. So how are you handling all this?
Difficultly, but with a smile. I am using this time to reinvent my business and to step inward and do all the processes that we have not bothered improving over the years, and looking back and saying which ones are worth doing. I know our business is severely impacted, as you indicated, and I know we're going to survive this as a country, as a world, and as a company. A lot of companies are not going to. We are set up uniquely to do so. But we are doing a few things that are kind of interesting. Rather than sending an email to everyone with a subject line COVID-19, we're here for you, or if I get I have been unsubscribing to more emails.
Those are the worst emails in the world. I mean, they're the worst. I don't need any more CEOs telling me what they think about COVID.
Yeah. I think so. Actually, my wife Laura, who and partner, president of the company, and she came up with this amazing idea. Stop sending, for the most part, emails selling stuff. Remind people of the days when they used to travel, and remind them that they will travel again.
I mean, I like you a lot, Scott, but Laura's the brains behind the operation.
She's not only the brain; she's the muscle. She's the
Laura's a beast. Let's be honest. Laura is beast mode all the time. So.
She gets into the office at 12 every day and leaves at 4. And
12 midnight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people would not have understood that.
I would.
I have never met Laura reminds me of the Terminator. But how have you guys been able to move to a work from home situation? How is that functioning for you?
Well, we happen to work regularly above our office.
Well, you and Laura do, but what about everyone else?
We're down to one other full-time employee.
Okay.
And he's done perfectly fine working from his home. We've outsourced the majority of our other functions, and especially our customer service to the Philippines.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And they do an amazing job.
Are they impacted?
Yeah, everyone is.
I know everyone is, but I mean, what's going on over there as far as your perspective?
The same thing. They're on lockdown. Okay. I mean, and we have our creative shop in Macedonia, and they're on lockdown.
How's your supply chain? I mean, how's your ability to get new product?
It's China. It was problematic in January, but now it's fine.
Okay, so we're back to China.
Yeah, we were about 2 months, behind. And we have a lot of stuff sold out as a result, but it'll be here shortly. But as it was going on, it never occurred to us like, the poor Chinese,
Right, right, yeah.
we were being sympathetic. We weren't charging them, to airship once they got out of it, but, we're fortunately, we had enough inventory going into it. We had enough on order, and it should be here shortly. So I know a lot of companies.
Looks like it's back. Look, your supply chain looks like it's back to normal, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, when I think about things that
I don't think anything's normal. When you say normal, I mean, because all of our suppliers, once all the other apparel makers, you kind of figure out. I mean, nothing's normal.
No. I get that the world is far from normal, but what you're seeing, or to the best of your ability to have visibility, is that you're going to be able to get product.
Yes, in our case.
Which I think is important, right? I mean, that's not just for you, but important for the kind of people who are going to listen to this podcast, right?
Yeah, a friend of mine, Guy Kawasaki, if I can drop a name, a very influential guy, I was talking to him about how we were going to try to remarket as the ultimate survival clothing, as well. Because, as much as you needed pockets before the pandemic, I mean, post-pandemic or in pandemic, you need gloves, you need masks, you need hand sanitizer.
I was going to ask about that. I mean, do you have a pandemic hoodie coming?
I'm sort of wearing it now. Anything we already have, which, by the way,
I mean, if you can send me a pandemic hoodie, I'll take it.
But, the point is that, with 20 pockets, it's a pandemic hoodie, yesterday or before pandemic. It's what you use the pockets for. But, we have to be sensitive about how we go about marketing that. And these, we start talking about the emails and how we're doing this. We're reminding people to travel, asking people to send pictures of themselves, getting tons of pictures. It's called the Armchair Traveler Wanderlust, campaign. We send 2 a week. And then I do a Zoom call with my mother-in-law about all of her travels. You're welcome to join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. On Zoom, where our customers chime in. And it's just a communal opportunity to get together. And then we were going to open up our retail store. Finally, after all this time, we had it all set up. It was beautiful. And we can't, because we're in the most impacted.
I was going to ask about that. So for those of you who don't know, Scott's in Ketchum, Idaho, which is essentially Sun Valley, Idaho. I've been to see Scott many, many times. Scott's building is incredible. He has 3 floors of a building that's for SCOTTeVEST, and the top floor is his, I don't know how to describe his house. It's a luxury, suite of sorts. He's got an elevator. So Scott's got one of the things I've never knew.
As much deck space as it does indoor space. If you're going to be holed up any place, this is a place to be holed up.
Yes, Scott's bunker is the best possible place to be holed up. But with that said, and with all the laughter, and Scott can talk to this. Sun Valley is being crushed right now. So talk a little bit about what you sent me yesterday from New York Times about Sun Valley.
And it's getting worse every day. We're the highest per capita proportion of people infected in the world. More than Wuhan, more than New York, more than anywhere in the world. We have, was it 350 cases as of this morning?
Out of only 22,000 people, though. That's
312 as of this morning. But they do 2 updates a day. And 22,000 total people, according to the census, of which probably half are really here. So if you do the math, like Chicago has 1,000 cases yesterday, and we have 300. And
it's unbelievable.
Mind-boggling.
When you sent me that stuff yesterday, I forwarded it on to Russ, my business partner here with Miva, and we were all talking about it. I put it into our Slack channel. We had a long discussion about you and Sun Valley yesterday. After you sent me that info, it's hard to get my head around what's going on in Sun Valley and how that's impacting you.
Yeah, because we're a tourist destination, what happened was a number of people from a couple skier groups came in and weddings from Seattle, and they partied hard at the wrong time at a bar, exchanging glasses, and before long, there's estimates that 40% of the community. I've heard that that might be the case for a lot of communities, but they're not over testing here. It's just you have to show symptoms to get tested. We have 12 hospital beds, one funeral home, and we're probably going to get 50 or 100 people that are going to die as a result in our community, and we typically have 100 people die in a year.
Yeah,
And when someone dies, a normal person, old or young, half the community is like, you hear Joe died, because it's like Mayberry. So
right.
just imagine just tomorrow. So, and fortunately, we've only had 2 deaths so far. I don't know when we're supposed to peak, and we've been holed up for a while. And
how are you and Laura doing? You guys.
I'm really well. I'm a little stir crazy. Laura's been practicing social distancing
for her whole life.
Her whole life.
She redefines introvert, but yeah.
Yeah, she does not like people. So this is fine for her. When a friend comes over and says hello and they want to hug her, she's like, yeah, we don't.
Get away.
Before the pandemic. So. This is
I mean, that's one of the many reasons I love Laura. So, she's great that way. But I mean, for those of you who don't know Scott and who don't know Sun Valley Ketchum, Scott lives, if you've ever seen the Steve Martin movie Roxanne, Scott lives something like in the world Roxanne, where it's like a little town, it's a little ski town with a volunteer fire department. It's idyllic. I mean, it's really at this most idyllic place. I mean, the nicest hotel other than the Sun Valley Resort in town is a Best Western. And I've stayed at that Best Western a few times, and it's actually a pretty nice Best Western. But they live in this place that seems, you would think was untouchable from what's going on, and yet you guys are totally touched.
Yeah. When you live, people's keys are in my Porsche outside. My keys are in the car.
Right.
Doors are unlocked. everywhere.
Scott has 2 Porsches and a VW bus, by the way.
and an old BMW, by the way.
Oh, and the old BMW. That 2002 is so nice.
It's a 3.0. It's an E9. It's even nicer than 2002. But no, it is. It shows how connected we all are. But they're doing some pretty interesting things because we're so connected. There's some talk about them actually testing everyone for the antibodies.
Yeah.
So
the serums.
The entire community. If they study us. I'm in touch with the mayor and talking to them. They study us. They can figure out.
You should definitely be studied.
Oh my God. No, we're trying to laugh. We're trying to keep it calm. People are taking the lockdown really seriously. People are hurting. Everyone's hurting throughout the entire world. I can't even begin to imagine what the new normal is.
No, I know. I'm personally an optimist. I think the world starts to come back to normal in June. At least, well, when I say the world, I'm talking about the U.S. But I think the U.S. starts to come back to normal in June. The question then is the whiplash effect, right? So what happens business-wise? Because there's predictions we're going to have 33% unemployment in Q2. So if that's true, that's greater than the Great Depression. Now, I think the current economy, the current structure of our global economy and our U.S. economy is well suited to recover from that much faster than anything that could have happened during the Great Depression. I don't foresee this to be an 8 to 10 year thing. I don't think we need World War III to get us out of this. In fact, this is kind of World War III what we're in right now. But it's the lack of visibility makes times hard. So from that perspective, how are I've been getting your emails and I've been watching them. Your emails are very, I guess for lack of a better term, they're on point. They don't feel tone deaf. How have you been able to do that?
Laura. She writes, I give her a million ideas. She tells me, no. I say, can't we sell this time? And she said, no. And, we listen to the customers. We listen to the reaction. We look at the high open rates. One customer said it really would be nice if you put at least the name of the product people are wearing. So if I like what I see, Laura finally capitulated and
the shop the look idea.
Yeah. So, and then I told you the retail store. We were going to open a retail store. I'm really excited about it.
Explain what you're going to do, because I think what you were telling me yesterday via text, I thought was a great idea. So explain to our listeners.
It's a beautiful retail store, and we live in this resort town. So a few months a year, there's a lot of people come, and I was excited about, but that can't happen. So what I'm going to do is schedule appointments with our customers. You're going to fill out, and I'm going to do either live stream or personal shopping appointments. Spend about 15 minutes with each customer. I'm going to hold up a product. I'm going to pretend I'm interacting with them in real life, just like you and I are now on Zoom. And I'm going to use it as a PR opportunity as well, because I'm going to tell all these other retailers that there's a way you can get out and, whether to supplement your online business and really create that direct connection with the customer. And I'm going to have, some of our customer service agents, after I showed them a bunch of products, I say, can I turn you over to Krista, who will help you make your purchase, take your credit card, who's next? And take people to fill out a Google form, are you just window shopping, or are you looking, and, ask a whole bunch of questions. And then we're going to have a Zoom call, and anyone who wants to come in and say, hey, that looks good, or I have one of those, and really recreate that retail experience. And I think that this might go beyond the pandemic. I can imagine that.
I mean, most people aren't going to be able to get to Sun Valley, but you can do this for people all around the world.
Right. And it's the first time I'm going to be able to see all of our products in one setting. I imagine a lot of, e-tailers. Sorry about that.
I was wondering if it's going to be my dogs or your dogs first.
Won't create a circle. We have 4 standard poodles for
Scott's
listening.
Scott poodles are the best.
So
as far as you're concerned, what indicators are you watching to know when the world's going to get better? When will you know the world's normal again?
Well, I actually have a Google document up. It's not often in business that you're going to get a kind of a warning on when things are going to change. And I'm like, what would I do when the world, when people start to travel again, when people congregate again? That's when and it's going to happen in phases and area. I firmly believe that once people travel again, they're going to want that trip to be the best, and they're going to want to spend the money to make that trip better, and we're going to come back stronger.
Agreed. I've had more conversations with people in the last couple weeks about what do we want to do as soon as this is over than I've ever had in my entire life.
And it's kind of fun to have those, and it's kind of Jim asked for April 30th through March, or April 30th through May 4th off for a bachelor party in Bend, Oregon. I'm like, you're not going anywhere.
You're like, you're
I said, yeah, you can take that off. All free PTO.
You're 2 months off.
But we're actually going to partner with some travel companies to do a free trip to wherever you want to go within certain, and start, because travel companies can't advertise now, but they could participate in a contest with SCOTTeVEST. Like an airline joined up, because it lets them, sort of get back in the forefront of people. So, once people can start to move about the cabin, is when.
So what are your thoughts on the future of retail post this? Do you have any predictions on how this changes retail fundamentally?
No, I only think of myself. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you and I. That's why we're good friends.
I don't know. I hate Amazon. I would love it if Amazon would go away, and Viva and your others like Viva platforms. Amazon needs to die, in my opinion. Our online Amazon was increasingly becoming 50% of our
I knew that. Yeah.
And we lost about 70% of our online business, on our website. But Amazon, we lost 90%.
That's so. Right. How have your email opens been? And are you getting click-through rates and closures on your email? Or are people just browsing? What are you seeing on the email side?
Well, because we're not putting links in for sales, we're not getting clicks, but we do get traffic because they can go to the header or footer. And what's our open rates on the last couple? Within a day, they're over 30%.
Oh wow, that's huge. I mean, those are huge.
Yeah.
And people have nothing else to do, right?
Yeah, and we get a few people complaining, "How dare you remind me of travel?" But most people are really enjoying it. I mean,
that was one of the questions I was asking you. What kind of feedback are you getting from your customers?
99 out of 100, fantastic. I mean, and then one, his name happened to be Dick. That was just complaining, and so I write, "Dear Dick," all caps. And I'm going to repost. I'll put it in Facebook. You'll laugh your ass off, I'm sure. But no, incredibly favorable. A lot of people are asking us, because we're in the clothing business, that we should do, make PP protective gear, PPE, and we're not equipped to do that. We don't own the factories, and
right. You can't, and you couldn't do it quick enough to make a difference.
No.
Right. So, let's see. I mean, I think that's all the things I wanted to cover for you. I'm glad to see you're doing well. I'm glad. I hope to see you and Laura soon physically.
You talked about coming up here again.
We talked about coming up in April.
Oh well, yeah, that
that's not happening. Especially not that Sun Valley. Now that Sun Valley is the epicenter of hell.
Yeah, we are literally quarantined. I can't cross county line.
Oh, you can't?
No,
you can't go to the resort or anything.
Oh no, the resort. Not really. No, I'm not. No, we're allowed to go to essential businesses and go on walks with our dogs, which is pretty much what we do anyway. So, but the county line, there's like a sign. We're glowing here.
No, I can imagine. Look, I mean, I've personally been. Let's see. So we got. I don't know how much of this story you know. We got lucky because, we had to plan MivaCon, right? And so what happened for me was MivaCon was supposed to be last week. So I think last week of February, I walked into my weekly lunch meeting with Russ, the last of the weekly lunch meetings I had with Russ. Now we've been doing them via FaceTime. And I said, hey, we're thinking about postponing MivaCon because of COVID. And he looked at me like I had two heads, and he was like, no, you're postponing MivaCon. He's like, all I do is I'm an investor full time. Like he'd retired from Miva. He's like, all I do is follow the markets. He's like, you're done. He's like, we have to postpone this. And so he gave me, this is the beauty of Russ and my business relationship with Russ. He gave me the visibility and forced me to take some time to have the visibility weeks ahead of when I would have. And so we did two things. We called the hotel and we're like, look, this is a force majeure event. We're moving the event. You can work with us or you cannot, but this is force majeure. And every day you claim it's not force majeure, we'll just wait one more day because it'll be force majeure tomorrow. And then finally, from that, we were like, well, shit, we have 130 employees. We have to move to work from home. So we were able to transition to a work from home company in 2 weeks for 130 people.
How'd that go?
It went surprisingly well. I could not imagine it. I cannot give enough thanks to my staff for how well they did, because they pulled off something Herculean that I couldn't have done. And they have been amazing. And so we went to a full work from home company. We're even rethinking our commercial real estate needs going forward.
That's where I think is the big change that people are going to see.
Absolutely. So that's going to be a huge change, right? Because we can save, like for us, we can go from having 30,000 square feet to 10, have departments have 1 day a week or 2 days a week when it's their day, we can create our own little WeWork spaces and save $600,000, $700,000 a year. That's a lot of money. And then we can take some of that money we're going to save and we can turn that into, think about Pimp My Ride, but Pimp My Office Space. We can make it really nice based on not having to spend all that money every month. So it's amazing. So from your perspective, where do you think this all comes out in the end as far as an e-commerce company goes?
For any generally
in e-commerce, you and in e-commerce, like how do you think this? Yeah,
I think honestly, I think the ones that survive, which I think are 70% of them, because I are going to be better, stronger, more thoughtful. They're going to have the time, now if they're smart, to rethink their processes and procedures, retrain. There's no other opportunity in the world that in the history of business, mankind, that gives you press pause. If you're led properly, I assume you're encouraging all your people to make sure you're giving great customer service and all that. Yep. In your case, because you said you're not as impacted as we are selling travel clothing, we have an ability to step back. We're investing in rebuilding our website from scratch using one of your vendors that you said. I'm hoping that we win the MivaCon award or whatever.
We should talk offline, because right now I have a little extra. I have some open demand, so I can give you a real good deal.
So in any event, I think e-commerce is going to come out fine. I do hope that people get resentful of Amazon. Amazon, by the way, up until the pandemic, they kept saying, "Oh, did you know you have X $100,000 you can borrow immediately with no problem. And then I went to look, they took all their Amazon lending down.
Oh, I bet. Not surprised.
This
None
is,
of that
we
surprised.
can't ship. I mean, you know, it's ridiculous. But in any event, I've really enjoyed working with you and your team. I feel like your family. You guys do great customer service. You're good at everything you do. So,
well, thank you so much. I mean, look, we love you as a customer. Obviously, I care about you deeply as a friend. I care about Lori even more, but you know, that's how that goes.
Yeah.
And so, but I appreciate you being on the show today. I'm not sure if there's anything else we need to cover. I'm gonna wait for a text from Chris. So, okay. I think we're at the end. So, Scott, I really appreciate your time today. Give Laura my best, and we'll check back with you soon.
All right.
And follow up.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks.